There are women who walk into your life and everything ignites. The conversation flows, your body responds, the silences fill themselves in, and you, as a mature man, feel like you've finally found something different. But listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you today is something most people don't have the courage to say. Not every woman who wants you deserves you, and not every woman who knows how to light you up knows how to stay. There are signs, small cracks that appear when you pay attention. Details that reveal the woman standing in front of you isn't a mystery waiting to be discovered. She's a road already traveled, many times, by too many. And I don't say this to judge. I say it from the cold observation of someone who has watched how these women are shaped, how they talk, how they move, how they choose. Because a woman can be beautiful. She can be charming. She can make you feel like the most desired man in the world. But if too many men have passed through her hands before you, there's something she can no longer give you, even if she wants to. And that something is exactly what you, at this stage of your life, need most. Depth, genuine devotion, the possibility of a connection that doesn't feel like a repeat. I'm Celia, and today I want to show you 3 very specific signs that reveal when a woman has had too many men in her life. Not so you can judge her, not so you can look down on her, but so you know exactly what you're dealing with. Because a woman like that can be wonderful for a good time, for a night that reminds you you're still alive. But she's not the woman you build something with. She's not the woman who stays. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you something more. Something practical. Something no man will ever tell you this clearly. How to figure out in just a few minutes of conversation whether you're looking at a woman to enjoy or a woman to love. Stay until the end, because when this video is over, you will never look at a woman the same way again. So, to avoid making that mistake, to keep from confusing desire with destiny, you need to learn to read the first thing a woman shows you before she ever says a word: her body. Because the body doesn't lie. The body tells the story the mouth keeps hidden. And there's a way of moving that only appears when a woman has been with many men. A way so polished, so calculated, so effortless that it reveals everything. Think about it. When a woman doesn't have much experience, there's something a little awkward in the way she approaches you. A small hesitation before she touches your arm. A beat too long before she holds your gaze. A laugh that slips out when she doesn't know how to react. That awkwardness is not a flaw. It's a sign that her body is still genuinely surprised by you. That you, specifically you, are stirring something she hadn't rehearsed. But when a woman has passed through too many hands, her body loses that ability to be surprised. Everything flows too smoothly. She knows exactly how close to sit. She knows when to brush against you, when to pull back, when to lean forward so you catch her perfume. Her gestures are choreography, not instinct. Her seduction is a craft, not a discovery. And even though in the moment that feels fascinating, even though you feel like the center of everything, what you're watching isn't a woman giving herself to you. It's a woman executing what she already knows works. I've observed this many times, at dinners, at gatherings, in those situations where a woman approaches a mature man with clear intentions. I remember one woman, let's call her Victoria, 34 years old, who walked up to the table where a friend of mine, 61, was sitting. Within 15 minutes, she was touching him casually, laughing at his jokes before he'd even finished them, holding his gaze with that precise mix of intensity and warmth. Everything perfect, too perfect. And I, watching from the outside, knew in that instant that Victoria had done that same dance dozens of times. Because there wasn't a single mistake, not one hesitation. In practical psychology, this has a name. It's called learned seductive fluency. It appears when the body has repeated the pattern so many times, it no longer needs to think. It's the same thing that happens with a musician who has played the same song for 20 years. They can do it in their sleep, without emotion, without any real connection to the piece. The execution is flawless, but the soul isn't there. And in seduction, the soul is exactly what you need to find if you're looking for something more than one night. The worst part about this sign is that it deceives. Because you, as a mature man, after years of not feeling that kind of attention, after time spent thinking no one looked at you that way anymore, feel like you're standing in front of something special. But you're not. You're standing in front of a technique, in front of a woman who knows how to read men like you, who knows which buttons to press, who learned with others what she's now using on you. And if you don't see it, you'll give yourself completely to something that, for her, is just another chapter. So observe. Take your time the next time a woman approaches you with that all-encompassing perfection. Look for a mistake, a small slip, a gesture that doesn't quite land. Because if everything is too smooth, too rehearsed, too ready to serve you, what you have in front of you isn't a woman discovering you. It's a woman repeating you. And if her body gives you the first clue, the second one comes from the way she talks. Because a woman who has been with many men hasn't just trained her body, she's trained her conversation. And that's an even more telling sign because it happens on a playing field where you, as a mature man, should have the advantage. The territory of words, of real exchange, of the connection that's built through talking. Pay attention to this. Some women converse with a remarkable precision. They know exactly what to ask to make you feel interesting. They know when to compliment you and when to dial it back slightly, when to laugh and when to turn serious. Their silences are perfectly placed, like an actress who knows exactly when to let the audience breathe. And you, delighted, think you finally found someone who gets you, someone who just clicks. But listen carefully to what I'm about to say. That flow isn't chemistry. It's training. It's a woman who has had so many similar conversations with men, so similar to you, that she no longer needs to think. She's running a script that has worked before. And the most revealing part, the thing that exposes the whole truth, is this. Nothing you say genuinely surprises her. She can fake surprise, she can widen her eyes, she can laugh right on cue. But if you pay attention, you'll notice her reactions are always proportionate, always measured, never overflowing. Because she's already heard versions of your story before, from other mouths, at other dinners. A woman who hasn't been with too many men reacts differently. She gets more emotional than she should, or she goes too quiet. She stumbles, laughs at the wrong moment, says things she probably shouldn't say yet. Her anxiety shows. Her genuine interest slips through. She makes mistakes. And those mistakes are gold, because they're proof that you, specifically you, are getting to her. You're pulling her out of her comfort zone. You're getting past her defenses because she doesn't have that many defenses built up yet. I remember a story. A man I know, a widower, 68 years old, went to dinner with two different women in the same week. The first, 38 years old, brilliant in conversation, charming, able to hold her own on any topic. He walked away from that dinner convinced he'd found something rare. The second, 42 years old, quieter, she told the same story twice with different details, got nervous when he held her gaze a little too long, said something she herself immediately called clumsy. He came home thinking the second dinner hadn't gone as well. But when he told me about it, I asked him just one thing. Which one asked you something you didn't know how to answer? Which one actually surprised you? He went quiet. It was the second one. Only the second. From the psychology of human connection, this is very clear. Genuine vulnerability cannot be faked with precision. The woman who has been with too many men has lost, without meaning to, that vulnerability. She traded it for skill. And skill, while fantastic for a night, is incompatible with real love. Because love needs awkwardness. It needs those moments where the other person doesn't know what to say. It needs two people discovering each other without a script. So the next time you're with a woman who talks to you with a little too much ease, a little too much precision, with that feeling that everything fits perfectly, don't let yourself be seduced by how smoothly it flows. Ask yourself whether what's flowing is the conversation between the two of you or the script she runs with every new man. Because if what she's saying could be said to anyone with just a change of name, then you're not being seen, you're being processed. And here we arrive at the deepest of the three signs, the one that reveals itself when you slow down and start asking about her life. Because you get to know a woman by what she shares, yes, but even more by what she doesn't. And a woman who has had too many men in her life has an edited past. Not a dishonest one, edited. And that difference changes everything. Think about how she tells her story. Characters appear without names, eras without dates, relationships that start abruptly and end without explanation. She says, "I was with someone a few years back," and doesn't go further. She says, "I went through a rough patch," and changes the subject. She jumps from her 20s to her 30s as if nothing happened in between. And when you ask directly, with that calm confidence of a mature man, she laughs, takes your hand, and tells you, "That doesn't matter. What matters is right now." And you, charmed by that right now, let it go. Don't let it go. Because those blank spaces aren't random. They're managed. They're a woman who has learned, through many experiences, exactly which parts of her history might scare a man off. So she hides them, not out of malice, out of habit, because she figured out that if she shares too much, men pull away. So she shares just enough. And that calculation, that ability to curate her own past like a product, reveals she's had to do it many times, with many men. A woman who hasn't had too many stories, on the other hand, overshares. She gives you names, she gives you dates. She tells you about the boyfriend from her teenage years, the love that left a mark, the one who left, the one who hurt her. Not because she wants to make you uncomfortable, but because her life fits whole into her telling of it. She doesn't need to hide it. There aren't so many overlapping layers she has to carefully lift so you don't see them all at once. I've seen this with friends, with acquaintances, with women who sit down with me to talk through their relationships. I remember one, let's call her Lauren, 46 years old, who started seeing a man of 63, grounded, self-assured. He came to me one day because he trusted me, wanting to know if Lauren was the right woman for him. I asked him just one question. Has she ever told you a story from her past that made her look bad? He thought about it, thought for a while, and said no. Every story she'd told him cast her as the victim, the survivor, the misunderstood one, never as someone who had a part to play. And I explained, when a woman has truly lived, she has stories where she herself is exposed, where she made a mistake, hurt someone, made a decision she still regrets. And she tells those stories because they're part of who she is. The woman who only shows you a tidy past, where she always comes out on the right side, isn't showing you her life. She's showing you her emotional resume. In practical psychology, this is called selective biographical editing. It's a defensive mechanism common in people who have had to introduce themselves to new partners over and over again. Over time, they learn what to keep in and what to leave out. And they do it so well, so naturally, that they don't even notice. But you can notice if you pay attention. If you sit with the discomfort of asking twice. If you don't settle for the first charming answer. Because there's a difference between a woman who doesn't want to discuss her past on the first date and one where, months later, you still don't know who came before you, for how long, or how it ended. If her past remains a fog over time, That's not discretion, it's strategy. And a woman with that well-practiced strategy isn't built to give herself fully. She's built to navigate men. She may be fascinating to navigate alongside, but she won't stay. And now, what I promised you. Because knowing the 3 signs means nothing if I don't give you a practical tool to use them. So listen carefully, because this is what no man will ever tell you this plainly. There's a silent test you can run without her ever noticing. Just one. No trick questions, no interrogation, nothing confrontational. Simply this. At some point in the conversation, tell her a story from your own past where you don't come out looking good. A story where you made a mistake, where you hurt someone, where you made a decision you're still not proud of. Tell it calmly without dressing it up. And then go quiet. Wait. Watch what she does, because a woman you can truly build something with will respond from her own vulnerability. She'll share something similar. She'll open up too, because your honesty gives her permission to do the same. She may not do it in that exact moment, but sometime soon she'll return the gesture. She'll share a piece of herself where she doesn't come out looking great either. But the woman who has been with too many men, the practiced one, will do something else. She'll comfort you. She'll tell you it wasn't that bad, that everyone makes mistakes, that she doesn't judge you. She'll take your hand. She'll look at you with tenderness, and she'll change the subject. Because her trained instinct tells her this is a moment to be charming, not to be real. And right there, in that perfect response that gives nothing of herself back, you have your answer. Remember this, the woman for a good time makes you feel good. The woman worth keeping makes you feel seen. And feeling seen is not the same as feeling flattered. Feeling seen means she exposes herself too, that she takes a risk too, that she shows you her imperfections because she trusts you can handle them. At this stage of your life, you can no longer afford to get confused. Tahim has become your most valuable resource, and giving years of your life to a woman who only knows how to move through men, when what you're looking for is a partner who stays, is a betrayal of yourself. You can enjoy those women, yes, if that's what you're consciously choosing, but don't mistake them for home. Don't give them what they're not capable of receiving. I'm Celia. And this space exists for men like you who have lived enough to stop accepting anything less, who already understand that desire isn't enough, that beauty isn't enough, that chemistry isn't enough, that something deeper is needed, something you can only recognize when you learn to truly look. If this video moved something in you, if you felt like someone was finally saying out loud what you already sensed, leave the phrase below in the comments. I choose with wisdom. And tell me which country or part of the world you're watching from, because I want to know who is walking through this alongside me. I'm not asking out of habit. I'm asking because it genuinely matters to me to know who I'm talking to. Subscribe, hit the bell, and check out the 2 videos that are about to appear on your screen. Choose the one that makes you most uncomfortable, the one that makes you question yourself the most. Because right there, in that discomfort, is where your real transformation begins. See you in the next one, and remember, it's not about having just any woman, it's about having the right woman. And that starts with knowing, with absolute clarity, who you're really looking at.